Inside Building Products, a Siemens podcast that keeps you learning.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to tackle complex topics, cut through the noise, and really get to the heart of what you need to know. Today, we're diving into something that quietly shapes your daily life, probably more than you realize, the Desigo automation system. Our mission today, to pull back the curtain on this. We want to unpack what it is, how it actually works, and really importantly, why it matters to you, someone who uses buildings every day, even if you're not, an engineer. Think of it like the ultimate smart brain for buildings, making the places we work, live, maybe learn, not just functional, but really intelligent, responsive.
That's a great way to put it. And Desigo, at its core, it's really tackling some fundamental questions about the buildings we spend so much time in. Are they truly serving us? Are they maybe wasting huge amounts of resources behind the scenes? Are they providing a comfortable, safe environment, a really optimal one? And maybe looking forward, can we make them smart and resilient, adaptable? We're going to explore these questions, focusing on the real impact, aiming for a high level, but hopefully insightful understanding for everyone.
Okay, so let's start with the problem then. Why do our buildings even need a brain? I think we've all been there, right? That meeting room that's freezing cold 1 minute, boiling the next, impossible to focus. Or you walk past an office building late at night and whole floors are lit up, empty, just burning energy. These aren't just little annoyances, are they? They feel like symptoms of something bigger.
They really are. And the scale of that inefficiency, it's kind of staggering. Globally, buildings consume something like 40% of the world's total energy. 40%. And what's really surprising, based on data from the ASC Alliance to Save Energy, is that about 70%, 70 of all existing buildings aren't considered energy efficient.
The 70%?
Yeah, 7 out of 10 buildings are basically, hemorrhaging energy. And that doesn't just hit the environment. It means surprisingly high running costs, maintenance costs for owners. And like you said, it often means it's just not that great for the people inside, affecting comfort, productivity, general well-being.
That is a staggering amount of waste and frustration, I imagine. So, okay, that's the problem. Inefficient, expensive, sometimes just plain uncomfortable buildings. How does something like Desigo step in? How does it start to fix that?
Right. This is exactly where Desigo becomes a bit of a game changer. Imagine it, like you said, as the central nervous system, the smart brain for the building. It's a really comprehensive automation solution designed to transform pretty much any facility. Could be a new skyscraper, could be an older campus, into a high-performance, resilient, and really efficient space. It's moving beyond just simple on-off control to actual optimization.
So it's not just flicking switches remotely, it's thinking.
Exactly, it's thinking. Desigo essentially integrates advanced IT information technology with OT, operational technology. Think of it as teaching all the different parts of a building: heating, ventilation, air conditioning, HVAC.
Right.
Plus lighting, shading systems, even critical things like fire safety, security, teaching them all to talk to each other, to understand each other, maybe even anticipate needs, work together seamlessly. The goal is making sure buildings are comfortable, productive, and achieving peak energy and equipment performance, ideally without someone constantly fiddling with the controls.
That sounds incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
But let's bring it down to the listener. What are the tangible benefits? What does a smart brain like Desigo actually bring to the buildings you use every day? To you directly?
Okay, well, the first big one is definitely energy efficiency and sustainability. It's a massive win there. Desigo doesn't just react like when a room gets too hot. It actively tries to predict and optimize. What's really insightful is how it uses predictive analytics. It learns occupancy patterns, pulls in weather forecasts. It can even precondition spaces before people are due to arrive. So the HVAC isn't constantly playing catch-up. This kind of intelligent optimization, it can lead to really substantial energy savings. We've seen HVAC use drop sometimes up to 25% just by anticipating instead of reacting.
25% is huge.
It is. And there's actually a specific component, the PSE controller, within the Desigo family that's specifically engineered for these kinds of energy savings, driving that sustainability aspect.
So it's way smarter than just turning off lights in empty rooms. It's predictive. But beyond saving energy and money, you mentioned the human experience, making it a better place to actually be.
Absolutely. This is where the smart brain really shines for people. Desigo helps create genuinely ideal spaces, ensuring optimal conditions for, productivity, health, general well-being. And it's more than just temperature. We're talking dynamic lighting that adjusts to natural light, time of day. Good for visibility, maybe even your body clock.
Circadian rhythm, yeah.
Exactly. It's about maintaining great air quality through smart ventilation, getting fresh air in without wasting energy. All these things adjust automatically, making people feel more comfortable, more focused, fewer calls about being too hot or cold. Plus, for the folks managing the building, the facility managers, it gives them tools that save labor, streamline things. They can be proactive, not just reactive.
Makes sense. And you touched on security. In today's world, that's huge. It's not just about locking doors anymore, is it? Cyber threats are real.
Indeed, very real. The Desigo CC management system integrates physical security and fire safety seamlessly, a single point of control. But critically, it also provides the highest level of cybersecurity. It's designed from the ground up to protect the building from cyber attacks. This isn't an add-on, it's baked into the architecture, securing connections between all the smart devices and between the devices and the users, using really well thought out, tested features.
Okay, that's quite a picture. We've got the problems, the benefits, but how does this brain actually work? Like, what are the bits and pieces, and how do they talk to each other to make it all happen?
Right. Let's connect it to the bigger picture. Think of it like that nervous system analogy again. Let's say it's a warm afternoon, meeting room's getting a bit stuffy. First, the field devices, these are the building senses, temperature sensors, humidity, maybe CO2 sensors. They detect the change.
Okay.
They feed that data to the local room automation unit that might also be handling the lights or blinds for that specific room. Then that local data goes up to the nearest automation controller. Think of that as a sort of regional brain for a floor or a zone.
Got it.
This controller talks to the central building management software. That's the master brain. It looks at all the incoming data, compares it to settings for comfort, energy goals, occupancy schedules. Then it sends commands back down the chain, tells the muscles like the actuators opening air vents or the lighting controls what to do.
The muscles, I like that.
And this all happens automatically, seamlessly, keeping things comfortable without anyone needing to touch a dial. It's this open, modular approach that lets it cover all the needs owners, tenants, facility managers, managing everything from climate to security.
And it sounds incredibly flexible. Can it adapt to, say, a huge hospital versus a small office?
Right.
Or even older buildings with, existing systems?
Precisely. That's a key point. Desigo has what we call an open and multidisciplinary architecture. This means it can integrate with existing systems, even products from other companies. You don't necessarily have to rip everything out.
That's good news for older buildings.
Absolutely. And it's highly scalable. You mentioned hospitals versus offices. The PXC automation controllers, the PXC4, 5, 7 really show this. A PXC4 might handle a small office zone, a few hundred data points. But a PXC7, that's got the power to manage entire central plants for a massive hospital or university, integrating thousands of points, complex systems.
So you match the brain power to the job.
Exactly. Matching the right processing power to the scale and complexity. And it's all built on open standards, so it can keep improving performance over time.
Future-proof and adaptable. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And for the engineers actually putting this all together, installing it, tuning it, there's a special toolbox for them, right?
Yes, absolutely. That's the Desigo engineering framework. Think of it as their central workbench. For planning, engineering, commissioning all these different parts, what's really helpful is that it's a license-free framework that lowers the barrier for engineers, makes workflows much smoother.
License-free, that's significant.
It is. It helps ensure intuitive planning, smoother commissioning, even for really complex systems, which at the end of the day means a faster setup, fewer errors, and a more reliable, smart building for everyone using it.
Okay, so we have this smart, efficient, comfortable building. Amazing. But in this connected world, how is that sophisticated brain actually protected from cyber threats, for example? And for the people managing it all, how easy is it to actually use, especially if they're not always on site?
Crucial questions. And cybersecurity is, well, it's a fundamental pillar for Desigo. All the automation products are designed from the start to contribute to the building's overall cybersecurity plan. This includes things like using approved, digitally signed Siemens firmware. Think of it like a digital seal of authenticity on the software, making sure it hasn't been tampered with.
Okay. Like a guarantee.
Exactly. Plus, strong password rules and encrypted communication using HTTPS, same security standard your bank uses online. And there are strict system hardening policies applied during installation, basically closing off potential backdoors.
Right. And you mentioned something specific earlier, B8 Net Secure Connect. Sounds technical, but important for protection.
It's critical, yes. The EICnet is basically the common language most modern building equipment uses to talk to each other, regardless of who made it.
Like universal translator for buildings.
Kind of, yeah. BACnet Secure Connect, or BACnet SC, adds a vital layer of modern encryption and authentication on top of that language. It means every piece of equipment, from a sensor in a room to the main chiller plant, is communicating securely. It prevents unauthorized access or messing with controls across the whole system, room devices, controllers, the main management station, even the engineering tools. It ensures all that communication is secure, protecting data and making sure the building operates safely.
So it's like a digital fortress around the entire building's communication network.
Yeah.
And for the managers, the people overseeing maybe multiple buildings, often remotely, how convenient is it for them?
That's the other side of the coin, making it user-friendly and accessible. Desigo really focuses on ergonomic operation from, well, anywhere. Thanks to integrated cloud connectivity and web interfaces, managers can log in securely, monitor things, even make adjustments using their phone or tablet.
From anywhere.
Pretty much anywhere with an internet connection. You know, I heard about a facility manager who got an alert about a critical issue while he was actually on vacation.
Oh.
Instead of rushing back, he could securely log in, diagnose it, and initiate the fix right from his phone. And even for local tasks, when a technician is on site, the controllers have an integrated Debuilin hotspot.
Like a local Wi-Fi.
Exactly. They can connect directly and securely with a tablet right there to do diagnostics or maintenance. Makes it much faster, more efficient, without needing to plug into the main building network. It's about flexibility and peace of mind.
Okay, let's try and wrap this up. Let's unpack it one last time. We started imagining a building that thinks for itself, and it seems like systems like Desigo are really making that happen. It feels like it's about much more than just fancy tech. It's creating genuinely smarter, more efficient, safer, just better places for us all.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, yeah, it really signifies a profound evolution. We're shifting from buildings being passive shelters to becoming dynamic, responsive ecosystems, ones that adapt intelligently to us and the environment. And this shift allows for optimization on a scale we haven't really seen before, not just energy and costs, but critically enhancing the human experience inside. Productivity, well-being, even contributing to broader sustainability goals.
So what does this mean for you, listening right now? Well, next time you walk into a building, maybe it feels just right, perfectly comfortable. Or maybe it feels a bit off, too stuffy, too bright, too cold. You'll have a much better sense now of that complex brain that could be working behind the scenes. Or maybe not working quite as smartly as a Desigo-powered building might.
And here's maybe a final thought to leave you with, something provocative, perhaps. As our buildings get smarter, more interconnected, truly intelligent, how might our own expectations change? What will we start demanding in terms of comfort, sustainability, maybe even personal security within these spaces in the future? What new innovations will arise because we expect more from the places we live and work?
Something really fascinating to think about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the intelligent world of smart building automation.